for this piece of work, you need to think about your journey to school and think about the route that you take, the roads that you travel on, the things that you pass like buildings, shops, forests, and really build up that mental map in your mind of your route to school. That's the first thing. And then what you need to do with an A3 sheet of paper is draw your mental map, your route to school, and then on that map you need to identify 6 crime hotspots. A crime hotspot is a place where either there is a lot of crime or a place where you think there might be a lot of crime. So it might help by drawing a box first to help you begin your mental map, and then try and think through what you're going to do and where. If you start with your house, for example, in the middle, then you're going to move in one direction and perhaps not then fit everything in. So think about where you're going to start with regard to the school and the house, and perhaps put it in quite faintly. So I'll start with perhaps the school here, kind of faint drawing of the school, and then this is going to be my mental map. Draw a little bit of a road here, okay, and then sort of sketching a roundabout, little path off in this direction, zigzagging down here, and then sort of joining a road here, and then kind of putting my house in. So I've got the sort of rough outline quite quickly, and then I can start to add detail. Road going off in this direction, and here you can take a bit more care over it, take a bit more time, perhaps putting the church on the corner there, marking in Lidl here. Start to label things up, so the school here, maybe just label on the forest here above the hill, Colliber. And you kind of get in the idea, add a little bit of detail as you go through, and then I could go and I could add on some street names as well, couldn't I? So Tallyhover is this street, for example. You could add some colour to it as well, and then obviously the key thing is then to be thinking about where the crime hotspots are. So for example, and you might number these up, so for example I would put perhaps number 1 here, okay, and circle it, and then you can add it into the key, can't you? So number 1 could be near post office, and the crime I think is going to be mugging, and then I would add a little bit more detail about why that occurs there. Well, obviously you've got people going in and out of the post office, usually perhaps taking money in or taking money out, so it's going to be an area where as a thief you're going to sort of target that area. So that's the link between crime and place, particularly out the front when there's some sort of steps and an underground area where it can be quite quiet, and as a thief you can get away quite quickly through the environment. So in terms of designing out the crime, then you might think, okay, perhaps open up the area in front of the post office a little bit, put CCTV cameras, that kind of thing. I might put another one here, number 2. That's where there's a crossing on the road, and quite often cars do not stop on that crossing, so that's a traffic offence there, isn't it? And I can add that there, the link between crime and place. What could I do? Perhaps put traffic lights, that kind of thing. Number 3 here, lots of graffiti, vandalism, young kids hanging out in this area. Sometimes I see them drinking, so again, that's an area where there's quite a lot of crime, and it's a quiet place, it's out of the way. So the young kids can have some privacy there and mess around and do all sorts of things. So
again, I'd need to think, what could we do within that area? So that would be number 3. And your map would build up like this, trying to make it, take a little bit more care and time than I have here, but this is the general idea of how your crime hotspot mental map should really sort of look.
Don't forget that your map needs to have key things like a title, a key, for example, and also a scale. Okay, so this is what you need to do to produce your crime hotspots map of your journey to school. Alright, so in the next couple of days, think about your journey, look at the world around you, that's what geography is all about, and then make the link between the crime and the place. Concrete jungle.